Hi everyone, welcome to Check Your Connection. I'm Matt, your host today, and with my colleague Jordan, as we going to go and talk about the general election and our views are our views on this. So will be our views. Our views is our views. So um, we will keep it short and sweet, and then maybe a mention of football accidentally, because that's what we do. Um, so welcome aboard. Welcome to the podcast. If you want to join us, have your say, comment, and we'll be nice. Um, we have our own opinion, but we will be nice. Hi, Jordan. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and what you do for Dimensions, please?
Hi Matt, thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Jordan. I'm a quality consultant at Dimensions, and I'm a Dimensions council member as well.
Thank you. Up the U's as your football team. Sorry for the reference.
Absolutely, yep.
So me and Jordan are going to get on our soapboxes, and in about 100 days after July the 5th, we'll look at the new government and have another opinion of how the new government's doing. So I suppose my first question to Jordan would be, um, what's your overriding view of Labour's manifesto?
I think it's pretty strong on the NHS and social care, particularly social care, because obviously uh, having lived experience of it, I'm looking for, if we're talking about Labour, I'm looking for, in my opinion, uh, more money in social care so that more people like us can get the right support that we need.
Hmm?
I'm looking for our carers to be paid more. Um, I'm looking for social care to be put on the same levels of investment that the NHS gets. Um, and I'm looking for um, an end to what I believe to be the unfair benefits assessments that we all have to go through when we've got lifelong conditions.
Yep. I echo some of those things through Labour. Well, let's see who gets through to that number 10 door.
Yeah. Did you know that number 11 is bigger than number 10 down the
Yes, I
street?
do. Yes. And apparently there's a new cat coming as well.
Yep.
You know. So we've done Labour. Um, Labour is red, obviously. Um, and the Conservatives are in charge now. We've had 14 years of Conservative power. Um, Unfortunately, I am on a flyer of the Conservatives for my local area because I met my local MP. Um, so Jordan, we've seen the manifesto from the Conservatives, and you've pretty much, you just, are you tired of the Conservatives?
Um, yes, I am. I'm tired of the colour blue,
Yeah.
especially where I live. Um, it's a blue sea. Um, but I think come July the 5th, I think it'll be a red sea. Maybe I don't know. But I think the Conservatives. I want to see the Conservatives talk more about social care, talk more about the NHS, talk more about disabled people. Um, Richie Sunak was saying the other night when I watched him about that they're expecting more people to work who can work, but he didn't really say much on the people who can't work
Yeah.
or the people who can only work a little bit, like myself. So um, the I want to see more from the Conservatives around social care, around carers, around what it's like to be disabled, um, and wanting to work, wanting to have a great life. But some of us find that difficult.
Mm. We certainly do.
So, Matt, I'm interested to hear about um, what you're thinking and how and um, I'm not going to ask you how you're going to vote, but I just want to know how you're thinking and what you're thinking about when you put your cross on in the ballot box.
So, being part of the adult parliamentary group that I'm part of, it has given me an insight. I met Daisy Cooper, the Lib Dem deputy of the Lib Dem party, and she gave me what I thought was the best social care plan that she has. Um, Even though I am friends with Caroline Noakes for the last 14 years, Right Honourable Caroline Noakes, and we have had coffee, and I have met my Lib Dem leaders, and I have met Labour, 'cause Southampton's Labour at the moment, and I believe it's going to stay Labour. My main worry for out of all the manifestos or out of all the parties is um, I just hope that there is some investment in social care. There was the restraints that I've got where um, I'm facing some real challenges that with housing benefit changes, the welfare reforms that are coming at the moment in Southampton, it's hitting my pocket really hard. I had a meeting this week with my landlord, and my landlord has told me um, about the payments and how it's all going to work out, and I'm really scared that there's no mm, locally where I am, it will be Lib Dem. Um, and he's a great guy. I've met him. I've had tea and coffee with him. Um, and yes, they will challenge our Labour um stronghold in Southampton. Um, but it's to have an opportunity to go into Parliament and talk about social care. I have more confidence with the Lib Dems than the two other parties. I have that's my mind at the moment is when it comes to the vote. At the moment, I'm more orange than blue, even though I'm on the blue flyer.
Well, so we're encouraging people to vote.
Yeah,
1.5 million people with learning disability to vote if they want to vote. 2 million. Um, can you imagine if every single one of those people voted? What difference that could make?
I would make a
Anyway,
huge
um,
difference.
yeah. Um, you've got who've been in power 14 years. Labour, who are desperate to come in power. Lib Dems are on a bit of a revival after what happened in the coalition. The Green, I'm struggling because for me, there's only two main parties, and
Yeah,
that's red or blue,
yeah, I'd echo that.
who are realistically, got a chance of getting power. So really, the other parties can say what they want because they know they're not going to get in.
Yeah, I do agree with that. 'Cause I was for a long time I was a blue. For a very long time I've been a blue, and some said, "Oh, it's tactical voting," and I went, "Well, my tactical voting would go to orange because I don't want to go red because Keir Starmer doesn't give me any confidence." I, so I'm going down Daisy and Ed Davies' plan, even though they won't get in, but that's because I don't want to vote red.
Can you imagine if Ed Davey had one-to-one hours and what he would do based on
Oh,
what he's been doing with some of his like
yeah,
stunts? But he's got a disabled son
yeah,
who has care and support. So if anyone, he should be pushing the social care agenda that we need, and he should really get it. How many of the MPs, other than Ed Davey, have got genuine experience of care and what it means and what it feels like?
that's a really good point. I've had this conversation with some of my MPs that I've met of do they have a disability child or do they have, and their response has been quite shocking in some aspects of it. So it is trying to educate
I mean, you don't
MPs.
you don't have to have that, but you just
No.
have to care. I want the people running this country to actually care about the most vulnerable people that we have. Um, whether you're disabled, whether you're working age, whether you're older, whether you become disabled for an accident, whether
Mm,
you're a carer, you know, the carers allowance is so low,
yeah.
so low. But if we're talking about direct lived experience, how can I focus on all the other things I want to focus on if I don't get the care and support to allow me to do that? So, yes, I want to be green and save energy. Is that going to get me a support worker? Is that going to get me more hours? Is that going to help me with my disability? No. So, in order of preference, I'll be spending a lot more. Social care is my number one priority for me and many others. Then we can talk about the other issues about um, saving the planet and that kind of thing. And that's not me dismissing it. You're asking me what I truly believe in, and that is to help the most vulnerable people in this country. Um, you know, do we need more homes? Yes, we do, because we want more people to live independently with care and support. But I can only do this, do things like this today, this podcast, if I'm supported in the right way to do it. And we can only get that support if there's funding and if there's really good carers and support staff. So, yes, a lot of the other issues are important, but actually, I'd like to see a bit more focus and a bit more money spent on social care. We know that most of the parties will talk about votes, um, which may be important to people in this country, but actually, what's important to me is, you know, how we properly fund social care and how we treat social care alongside the NHS and them working together. Um, we're getting older. Um, what I've said to myself is if you look after me now really well, then you might spend less money looking after me as I get older because the support's already in place.
Yeah.
Um, Matt, you said earlier that you were scared. I'm also scared. I'm scared that my hours are going to be cut. I'm scared that I'm going to lose my home. I'm scared that I'm going to need more support, and they're going to say there's not enough money or you don't meet the criteria. You know, the level of criteria to get the support now is really high. So it's that scares me as well.
Well, I'd definitely say in Southampton, especially in Southampton, immigration's a real big problem. Um, and it's probably the same in Essex. And we, it's having a knock-on effect for those that have got disabilities. Yes, I believe that if they come here for work, okay, but I understand it's just a growing problem, and I don't know how to stop the boats. I generally don't know how to stop the boats. Um, that's my viewpoint.
If you put too much food in your belly's going to get full. So you've got to stop eating. The other day, there was lots of people in my surgery, and they stopped people going through the door because it was full. So they shut the door. So we need to have a bigger. If if we are a welcoming country, which we are, and which we should be, at some point we're going to have to regulate that and make sure there's enough space, enough opportunity, enough houses, enough care to allow us to protect the most vulnerable that's coming here. But also, I'd argue this: in a garrison town where I live, in an army town, we've got veterans that have fought for our country that are homeless, that are on the street.
Mm.
So where is their support?
Yeah.
So I do think we need to have a proper on immigration and what it means, because we need it. We desperately need it for our social care workforce. You can get more money per hour working in Aldi and Lidl. Why can't they? How much value do they place on someone's life when, okay, Matt, who has care and support needs, has a pound sign above his head. I have a pound sign above my head. If you're a carer, you've got a pound sign above your head. It shouldn't be like that.
No.
That doesn't mean to say we've got to throw loads of money at it, but spend the money better, spend it wisely, spend it appropriately. You mentioned the amount of people that are still in long stay hospitals. Do you know how much money they cost a week?
Yeah.
And there's an argument to say that some people need to be in them.
Yeah.
But my view is that no one should be in them. We need more carers. We need more trained carers. We need more homes. But that will cost money. I just think, can we think about what we spend in other areas and really, the biggest issue in the pandemic was health and social care, and the amount of people with learning disabilities that died. So my view is that we need to put more money into the social care pot, to give it the respect it deserves. Because if you support me really well at home, you're in a position to get a job, might be in a position to help the economy.
Mm. No one knows the answers. I mean, we can. It's such. I read a statistic today that there's no disability officers in local council meetings that listen. There's no advisors to talk about the challenges in the whole of. There's no one with a lived experience on a council, as in like Southampton City Council or Essex or wherever there is. But there needs to be that thing so someone can be on that panel to chat about how to spend disability budgeting and money. Um, and that's my firm belief is at some point there should be someone on your local council listening to where the money's getting spent.
I want to know who is. Well, I want to know that every single party, or Labour or Conservative, whoever gets in, whether they're going to have a proper disabilities minister,
Yeah,
a minister for disabled people, because the Conservatives watered theirs down. She had to
yeah,
become a junior minister. Why, man? If you get a head injury tomorrow, you're going to need social care or hospital care or one of the two. So why do we still have the same arguments every time?
so Jordan, what have you been watching on telly?
Of course, Matt, I've been watching the Euros, every single game, every single minute, every single second. I've even watched some games twice.
Wow, that's dedication. Even after last Sunday's performance with England, or the last performance of England.
Like down in a very dark room, and I thought about my life, and then I realised that they drastically need to improve. Um, a bit like Gareth Southgate. He's been in charge for 8 years, and he's done really, really well. But I think he looks a bit tired. I think the team look a
Yeah,
bit tired. Um, they look like me after I've had a bowl of chips. You know, I haven't been impressed, but I will stick by the team.
yeah,
And I think if you look at our who we've got to play in the knockout round, the draws really opened up. Um, uh, all of I spend a lot of my time, my free time, and my uh, time where I get support involving football. Um, yeah, happy to go to Tesco's and do my shopping as long as we get back for the 5 p.m. games, the 2 p.m. games, the 8 p.m. games. Then we're all good.
So, in your ideal world, who's going to win?
England,
Okay.
say that, mate. England, of course. I'd love it. Um, love that to happen. Got a long way to go. I also think that um, what you saw with the women winning their European championships, which was really cool. How that inspired um, lots of women and girls to play. I also think it did a lift for the country. I think this country needs a lift.
Yeah.
So if England can do that by winning, you know, who knows? I think it'd be cool. I'd love it. Um, I was lucky enough to play football for my country, to play football for England, and to win 25 caps, which is 25 games, and playing a world championship and playing a European championship. So I know I yeah, so it is my greatest achievement, I think. And I've been lucky enough to coach other people that have gone on to do the same thing in various different disability groups. So that's where my love of football comes from, and my love of food. One of the questions I asked my new support worker when we were recruiting was, "You have to like football. You have to like football. Everything else is irrelevant. As long as you care about me and you love football, then you're probably going to get the job." And she did. So we're all right. So yeah, I'm passionate about it, and um, we talked a lot about how disabilities and autism to have great lives and meaningful lives and good lives. Um, eating well, having exercise, having friends, going out, doing all the things that I really enjoy. I want to see that for everyone else. So, and we have that. We deserve that. For everyone else to do that. So, you know, doesn't have to be football, does it? It can be anything you want it to be. But as long as people get the opportunity to do that, and the only way that they can do that is through a government on July the 5th that's going to support us to do that. So.
Mm, that's great. I'm still waiting for my autograph.
Um, yes, I won't charge you, Matt. You have it for free.
Or maybe we should do a football match for the Dimensions Council or some sort of sporting activity when we next
Oh,
meet.
funny enough, someone actually said to me ages ago we should do a people supported versus Dimension Star football match for charity.
Mm. I'll get out my old
Oh,
legs then. I'll get out my old legs. So will you be watching the Olympic ceremony? That's not far away. I know that's not the
Paris
Olympics.
24. Paris 24. I'm hoping to see if I can get across there and go, Matt,
Brilliant.
and also for the Paralympics as well.
Yeah, because the
Um,
Paralympics are coming up.
yeah,
Summer of sport.
yeah. Oh, my mouth's watering just thinking about it. We've had the Euros, we've got the Olympics, we've got the Paralympics, we've got the elections coming.
So who's taking you to Wimbledon next week then for your strawberries and cream?
Oh, do you know they've gone up in price?
I know.
I once sat on Henman Hill, as it was called, and I was in my best suit, my new suit, because you had to be smart to go into centre court. And I dripped all the cream down my suit, and I tried to wipe it off, but when it sort of dries and stains,
Yeah.
it wasn't a good look. So I took my jacket off, and then left my jacket on centre court. Had some more strawberries and cream, and then got it all down my tie. So I take my tie off. You know where this is going, don't you? Um, I do love strawberries. Mate, you've got me talking about food now.
Thanks for listening. And if you want to contact us, I've had a great colleague called Jordan with me today. He's helped me out dramatically, and here he is to say his final goodbyes. But do comment down below.
I hope it's not a final goodbye, but thanks for having me, Matt. And if you've enjoyed anything that we've said today or you want to comment, make sure you go to Dimensions Council at dimensions-uk.org. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.